and I could tell it was a 305 number, but the phone was rejecting it. Okay, we're on page Samaches. So yesterday we went through and we looked at the chart. The chart really tells us how the order of the entrance of the Moching is. And now we're going over here to number Ayin Ches. Number Ayin Ches says, V'alter tzarek liten tam, v'lama kol Rivuah Rishon nikra chol Hamoed v'yom tov. Kevin she'achar yom Rishon is talgul kol hamochen k'nez, because after the first day, everything's gone, the ale. V'gam inyan yom ha'shvi shel Pesach, shehu yom tov gomor. And then also we have to discuss that, I guess he's saying. So then he goes on and he says like this, Zoi shtei tarav. Let's see. So the Indian is like this. Ki the hiyosha gevor b'kol hamochen nikdaso b'leil Pesach Rishon. They came in already. V'hechrochu ki sham hanichu rishim shalachem kitzad sa'arahu. So the fact that they entered, there is a leftover from their path. So on the end of the I guess he means in the first week, goes back, all the Chochmah, the Gamri comes in completely. So here that's now. So this Moach, which is the Moach of Chochmah, is the big time Moach. Because all the rest, it's like, I think he used the word Yom Shekulo here somewhere, but it incorporates everything else in it. Kulim b'chochma chasisa, that phrase. Fuhu iker kulam, and it's really the root of all of them. V'lechein ha'shavua rishon, so therefore the first week is a special week. Mechlal chag amatzos, it's the, let me see if I missed the word here, is it rishon? He mechlal chag amatzos, it's from the whole chag amatzos. So v'chav im calls those, einu rak kedushas chol Hamoed kala belvad, even though that it's the root of everything, but it's still only the time we're in now is a moed kala. It's chol Hamoed. And since it hasn't completely come in, ad yom shishi shel shavua rishon, until you get to the 6th day. Today is today's the 5th day of the HAOMER. Ki oz nishlach of the kanes afilach and gadlus sheni, because then has completed to enter in the gadlus sheni the abba b'demuach hachochma k'nizka la'el. So this is the biggest of all of the moching, comes in now during this time chochma. So he said, "V'hinech b'yom shishi la'omer," the 6th day of the HAOMER, hu b'yom shvi'i shel Pesach, is going to be on the 7th day of Pesach. V'lechein hu yom tov gomor, and so therefore that's going to be a yom tov gomor. Let me just read it again. He says the 6th day of the HAOMER is on the 7th day of Pesach. So therefore, I didn't really quite get the connection between why we would say it becomes a yom tov gomor. So he says, afal pi shelo niknas rak harushimo maspik. But even though only coming in here a part is a rushimo, because he used the word niknas rak rushimo, because I think it's already there. L'fi shekevar nishlam mocha chochma, because now the mocha chochma has all come in, and this is apparently a time of celebration. V'lechein leil shavishi shel Pesach huter zivug atachton, so living husband and wife together is considered to be a zivug tachton. It's allowed to occur. But because since the mucha chochma has come in, there's already a concept of yichud, because you have to have that for the yichud. Because it's the root of everything else. But when you come to the 7th day of the HAOMER, yom shmini shel Pesach, which is the 8th day of Pesach, Nikra Isra Chag, it's called the binding of the Chag. What does that mean? V'shaoz niknas atzmos gadlus sheni da'ava, because on that day is the day that the utter essence of the gadlus sheni of Abba enters into Mocha Chochma, which refers to the Mocha Chochma. Aval Eno, let me see if I can get this over here. There we go. Yom Tov Mamish, but it's not considered to be a complete and total Yom Tov. Kevin Shagvarav Hiroshimo, Arishimo, Niknas, Belel Shvisi, Shvi, Shal Pesach, since it's already come in on the 7th day of Pesach. Vein Nikvach Yom Tov, Ella al Shem Chidush and Asa Bechadosh, and only because something new, or the Chidush that became from new, Avachavasach Eno Chidush, Kikavar Niknas Arishimo, Leil Shalafonov. Now, let me just read this again so I can understand it better. He said, Ve'ein nikra Yom Tov. How does something called a Yom Tov? It's only called a Yom Tov. Al Shem Chidush Na'asa Bechodesh. It's something that is brand new. I guess that's what he's saying. Something brand new. Okay, we're moving right along. And we're going to another drush. So here we've gone to three. This is the third drush already. 2 drushes already. So it's going pretty fast. V'hu drush lishi ve'inyan lel pesach ve'inyan sfiras HAOMER. So this is a third drush that has to do with sfiras HAOMER. And he says like this. Moving on. He says Hine nizbor b'drush Shakodim. Ki Iyar Galus Mitzrim Kodel Desivas daas Dezer Anpin. Going back over something we have learned before, it all has to do with the daas Dezer Anpin Ki Bo Pagmol Yisrael, because this is the place where the pagam, the flaw in the Jews, is like a sore or a lesion. Bo Pagam Yisrael. And I just want to say something else. As I was thinking that's been going in the back of my mind, is that he said before that the Gevuros and the Chasadim, the Gevuros represent the Yetzer Hara, and the Chasadim represent the Yetzer Tov. So I think it's a very strong statement that he's saying about Gevuros, is that they represent the evil inclination, the inclination of selfishness and all the things that go along with it, just because it's a Gevurah. I find that very strong statement. Anyway, I want to throw that in. Okay, number Gimel, it said, V'sham ne'echos echsech chas v'shalom hachitzonim alavushim shalom. Keniska the elki zu choises sivasiyos mispar shnos agalos radu shonim. Let me read it again. I don't know what happened here. My mind went into that other thing. So he says, Hine nizbar b'drush Shakodim, ki Iyar Galus Mitzrim Kodel Desivas daas Dezer Anpin Bo Pagmol Yisrael. So this is the way, this is the pagam of the Jewish people. And that's where they got a hold of it. They got a hold of what? The lavush, which is the outside part. Kenizker, the ale, like we mentioned. Yizu choises sivas yos mispar shnos galus. It's be 210 years, which is 21 times 10. 21 is Akya, which is the lavush. Now, let's see what else he has to say about this. It's a little bit of a review. Let's see how we can understand it. So the better explanation is which is probably the neck area. So that's interesting. He says this is called the Mor Hadas. Because we know that it spreads through these 5 parts. And then it goes as a kolel of the gathering together, the essence of all of them. Kulam niknas b'yesod. Hanikra kol, which is called kol, the sivazu for this reason. And then after that, that whole klal, the kolo that came in from into Yesod goes into Malchus. And here we're talking about spreading through the body of Zer Anpin. So the same way that the Chasadim go, so the Gevuras go, Begufa the Nook, the Zer Anpin, and they wind up in the body of the Nook. So we're building up, we understand that the ultimate, we're building up the Nukva, and let's see what happens. So he said, when we were in Galus, in Mitzrim, was there the Pagam really had a very strong hold there, as we mentioned. So therefore, that spread, it stops, and it goes back up into its root. What's the root? Which is the highest level of the daas, which is in the head area, corresponding to the brain part called the medulla. And for there we see that the spread of the galus extended, rather the galus of Mitzrayim. Because I've already taught you, he said, so that in terms of the neck is the most narrow place. It's the place which is the Mitzrim, or the kinds of tsar. He was Mitzrayim, and it's called Mitzrayim Meitzarim. It's the tsar place. So he says Avinoida, Ki Makam Yisod De'ima, the place of the Yisod De'ima, who Sham Begorim Dezer Anpin. So the Yisod of Iba now is inside of this place. It's panimi to that. V'chadas Sham Ku Mislavish Tocha Yisod De'ima, and the daas that's there is inside, and the moach of daas is inside of the Yisod of Ima. And when they are hidden in that place, I think that's what he means. Mitzrim, Upara Malcolm, they was able to hold on, to grab a hold of that place, which is in the back of the garon, of the throat. We have no voices. Our voices are being sucked away. So therefore they became indentured in that galus. Now let me just check and see. Okay, we're still on. Something can't do with my phone there. So okay, we're okay. I'm gonna read it again, but from the Chaim. Because the Chasadim, which he says is the Yetzer, this is very interesting. He said again, I keep going after it. He says is the Yetzer Tov is not able to spread. So now I'm not sure what the meaning of this is. Calling Yisroel, he's using that word. And it wasn't shining. And for the fact that these chasadim, the bechidas is pashtus, when we're talking about their spread, they're hidden back up at the root, and which is in the neck. So this, coming back to our subject again. The subject is the lavush of the mochim. He says the only thing that's shown into the body, I guess he says, is the levushim shel chasadim v'chakavuros. Shehem esra acharayim the ima, and what are they? They are the rivuah of ima 10 times. The yisod shalah it is in her yisod. Shehem asaras shemas ekya be rivuah. They're 10 names of Akya in Rivuah, Shehem So the Saradamen, which is the secret of the 10 bloods. Kaniska the Ela, we went through this in the section on Pesach. So he said Kaniska the Ervid Rashirishon, but the Sivazu, and for this reason, Mitzrim Shokvim Damim Shabbanei Yisrael, they were able to spread our blood. Now this is that the blood, this interesting metaphor, I'd probably say stated better down below, is the metaphor that the fact that they're able to suck off of us. What are they sucking off of? They're sucking this gematria of 44, which is the Rivuah of Akya. Kaniska the Ereb Drash Rishon. So therefore they were spilling our blood. Because of and you're supposed to kill him. So that's not good. So it said Va'inyan who the Inyan is like this Kizer Anpen who Havaya de Milu Elofim is the Havaya of a miloi the love. And let's go back again. That's Yud Vav Daleke, all of it like that. Bechinas os Allah shebemila. Now this effect, he says, could use some more detail on this, but he says like this: Bechinas os Aleph, the Aleph itself shebemilui os Vav. There's an Aleph in the middle of the Vav. Hu bechinas ima ilah. It's like ima ilah inside of Zer Anpin, who's represented by the Vav. Kaniska b'tikunim, so in the tikunim it talks about that, the os alam mora al shem ekya shuhu bebina. So it's like bina inside of the name of ma. Nimsiki aleph zu he shem ekya. This aleph is actually refers to the name ekya. He ima hilocha mispashetas zocher anpin lahakioso, in order to bring life to him, to keep him going. So he says v'noda, then he says like this, v'noda. Ki kol b'china elyonech b'ridetech the mata. So everything that's up above. So let's say he says b'china elyona, b'china elyona, b'ridetech the mata l'slavish toch b'china tachtoin. Pnimiyusa nishar lamala. This is how things go. The pnimius of it remains up above. V'chitzoniyusa b'chodeshucha acharaim shalom, which is really ultimately it's Acharaim. Yored and Mislavish Lamata, it goes down and it clothes himself down below. The Nimsa Shem Akya, that good old Akya, which refers to Ima, Akya Hazer, Hayordim is Pasha do Zer Anpin, which goes down, spreads into Zer Anpin, the Hakioso, in order to bring him, keep him alive. Rivuah of Akya, which is the same number as the word dam. And as it starts to spread into Zer Anpin, it becomes dam. It's the dam ha'adam shehu Zer Anpin. Havaya the ma communion adam. So now you have the whole thing. You have the whole havaya, which is the adam, and it has within it this aleph. So let's see which refers to Ima. So the first thing was they took the blood. So he's tying this up to the idea of whether or not it spreads. If it's once it's bottled up, I guess it's like overripe, so to speak, the mochin there. And as a result of that, it spills out. And he, the Adam himself, which is Zer Anpin, has no dam. So therefore they spilled out his blood. They took advantage of that. He said, so therefore we say, when they were revealed, when we are redeemed from our Mitzrayim, Yardu Eila Chasadim Shabadas. And then what happens is that we have to understand what it means that the Chasadim, which are the Yetzer Tov, starts to spread out from Das into Zer Anpin, is Pasha Beshisha Kitzvah, and it spreads into his Vak. So then it spreads throughout his blood vessels. In other words, everywhere. And because in this way there isn't any place to get a hold of the blood, because it's spread out in a lot of different places, and it's clothed inside a Zer Anpin. The Sefiros HAOMER, so it spreads through these 49 days of the Sefiros HAOMER. V'hu kihine asar shemos heim shal Akya. They are in fact 10 different names of Akya. So there are, let's say, kihine asar shemos heim shal Akya. V'kulam b'so dam, and all of them has this concept of dam. K'nizka the era b'drash shkadim v'zeh. V'hinecha b'hiyosef b'shutim yesh b'chem arboim osium. They're going to wind each one again 10 letters. They're going to be 40 letters here. V'chasar shemos azvan, and the 10 names themselves. Heim chamishim yom. They go over 10 days. Hisecha v'zecha v'pirish anachom, and this is the proper explanation. So I was running out of time, so I want to look at this one more time, this last part, and we'll get it next time we meet. That's Hashem after Yom Tov. Kol Tov.